Sharks. I like sharks. I think they are a rather creative addition to the planet, and my personal favourite shark is Sharpedo because I enjoy mons where I just get to click the button and big attack go brr. And my second favourite shark is this unnamed basking shark, which is single-handedly responsible for the most shark-related deaths in the UK's waters. My third is the goblin shark, because you can goblin these nuts. So the year is 1937, and I am in Carradale Bay, situated in the scenic waters of West Scotland. You're still part of the UK, you bastards. This counts as our most dangerous shark. Anyway, as I add a blur effect to myself and slightly zoom in, it will allow you to see a small fishing boat heading out into the bay. Aboard it are 5 people of the Brown family: Captain Angus Brown, his son Neil Brown, daughter Jessie Brown, brother Robert Brown, and one other unnamed Brown. Now, what they planned to do out on that fishing boat was fish, the catch of choice being a mackerel. However, the catch they got was the catch that there were a few basking sharks in the area with them. Now, there are 2 important facts regarding basking sharks you need to understand before we dive any deeper. They have a habit of jumping out of the water, spitting in the face of God in the process, reminding him what happened the last time a fish jumped out the water, and they're also rather rotund. Okay, my little Joelets, with those 2 fun facts ingested, please take a wild guess on what you think is about to happen to the Brown family. Hey, do you want to hear an interesting fact? Well, only if you insist. That second basking shark hitting the boat wasn't just a funny add-on to time with the music more appropriately. No, apparently they legit did get double-tapped, as there's a mention of the boat capsizing twice in one of the papers. Guess you could say the shark wasn't finished with them yet. 3 people would die as a result of the disaster. These would be Captain Angus Brown, his brother Robert, and 10-year-old Neil. You want to hear the craziest part of all this, though? With those 3 kills, technically, this random-ass Scottish basking shark, a species of shark, mind you, whose most common attribute is being docile, has the highest confirmed kill count of any one singular shark. That's kind of bonkers if you really think about it. Yeah, okay, scientifically speaking, this isn't a true shark attack due to a lack of intent on the shark's behest aside from the intent of going up! To give a hypothetical comparison, it's more akin to, let's say, driving my lorry down a motorway on January 17th at 82 miles per hour and refusing to alter my course when spotting some dude stood in the way because, let's face it, he kind of deserved it. The basking shark may be docile, but considerate to your position, it is not. Also, just because I know someone will say, this isn't a declaration that a shark attack means the shark has a malicious intent. It's mostly an intent led by stupidity, where they will mistake any seal-adjacent object for a seal. Anyway, let's talk about the Timothy McVeigh of the ocean next. Also, we're halfway through the video, so subscribe to the channel. Do it. So the year is 1956, and I am in Cornwall, situated in the scenic waters of southern England. And by happenstance, the Admiralty is also skulking around the area, doing some work that involves diving. An activity that gets rudely interrupted at some point when one Lieutenant Commander J.W. Bailey spots a shark in the water, and as we all know, Britannia rules the waves. This would not do. Now, sadly, I couldn't find out exactly what type of shark this is anywhere. It just was never mentioned whatsoever. You know, gosh darn useless internet. I guess I'll have to just use the Pokemon Sharpedo in its place. Rats. Anyway, after being alerted of the shark's presence, Mr. 10 Shots of Bailey decided to bravely send 4 of his men out in a small dinghy, armed with significantly more explosives than brain cells. Now, for the task at hand, why not use something more elegant like Legon? We may never know, but in their defense, the men were probably engrossed in the fantasy of being El Macho from Despicable Me 2. By now, I'm assuming you've probably put the puzzle pieces together on what's about to happen next, like the smart little Jolets you are, and I just want to say, you're wrong. So the men proceeded to pull up alongside the shark. The shark, realizing its mistake of being the shark, proceeded to begin vacating the area rapidly. Before it could though, the men lit their explosives, which were tied together with some rope, and attempted to chuck it right at the shark, and success! The rope wrapped around the animal's dorsal fin, sealing its fate as the fuse grew closer to their now shared end. And so, in a simplistic way to animate, the men celebrated their triumph over a harmless animal that had no possible way to fight back or retaliate. Score 1 for the Britons. Well, that would be the case until the shark decided to perform a then undocumented maneuver called turning around. A quote from one of the newspapers. The boat started to turn away, he said, but the shark turned around too and made for the boat. That is a horrifying sentence out of context. And I guess also in context. Remember when I said earlier that I don't believe a shark attack means the shark has a direct malicious intent, it's normally just an accidental intent? Yeah, this shark, no, and this guy was a few steps removed from getting 40 virgins with Allah in the afterlife. Bro knew the fucking objective and went for it with full force. And oh boy, I wish I could have been there. What a glorious example of evolution it must have been.
It's a gift. It's your parting gift, in that it will part you. Part of you here, part of you there, and part of you way over there, staining the wall. What the fuck?
The final result of this heroic sacrifice, or deadly terrorist attack, you know, eye and ethnicity of the beholder and all, 2 out of the 4 men, Leslie Nye and Richard Kirby, would be killed in the blast, with the 2 others being seriously injured. The shark's condition was not mentioned in the newspaper. And thus ends the tale of the world's first Al-Qaeda member. Godspeed, Mr. Sharpedo. Godspeed. And coincidentally, this is also the end of shark-related deaths in British waters altogether. Never happened since. I'm straight up not kidding. Being blown up by a shark that you threw dynamite on was the last way someone died to a shark in the UK. There's a metaphor there, I'm just too dumb to figure it out. If you're curious, there have been around 20 additional shark attacks since then. It's really hard to visualize, but that was me doing air quotes around shark attacks. And justifiably so, because one of the shark attacks involved a man suffering a bruised hand after hitting a shark while surfing. Let me clarify, he hit the shark. That is the exact opposite of a shark attack. That's a shark! Exclamation point. Attack! Just because you're a bitch, Rich Thompson, it doesn't mean you got attacked by a shark. You know, so if I go and uppercut to some guy and break my hand in the process, can I be like, today I was attacked? Now, where was I? Oh yes, the moral of this story. You may never really know when the unassuming hand of death will spank you down from below, or when the assuming hand of death will blow up in your face. Merry Christmas, everyone. I probably won't have another video out before then. And if you want to give me a Merry Christmas all over my face, have you considered money? Channel members, look at all these people. They're awesome people, lovely people, the best people. And if you want to be one of these people, go and join my channel memberships today. That's about it. Hope your Christmas isn't absolutely abysmal, and I'll see you all later. Bye-bye.